What's good everybody, it's Wolf94 and welcome to the last Pokemon sets from past formats. We're down to our last set, and that is Heart Gold Soul Silver Undaunted. So this is the last set that I have to cover for the 4th generation Pokemon sets, for the Pokemon sets from past format series, until I think of something else. I think I've said in other videos that I don't think I'm going to cover black and white. I'm not that into those sets. They have some cool cards, of course, but as a whole, the other stage 1 and stage 2 and the regular Pokemon cards in there, they just aren't that memorable because they couldn't be played basically. And the art, I'm not the biggest fan of the art, but anyway, and the EX series, I don't think I'm qualified enough to talk about those sets. Maybe I would love to. Maybe I'll do that someday. But for now, we've got Undaunted in front of us. So this is the third Hard Gold Soul Silver series set, and it's one of the smaller ones too. It might be the smallest set actually, with only 90 cards. It might actually be the smallest set of the whole 4th generation series and sets in general. I don't think there's been another set that has only 90 cards, but anyway, I guess some food for thought there. So this is definitely the weakest of the fucking Hard Gold Soul Silver series sets, because the primes weren't really that good. It has a bunch of interesting and cool cards maybe. The art is great, but it's just it's just a weaker set. Definitely the weakest of the three. Now, the legends, though, are the exception. Both of the legend cards here are pretty good, especially Rayquaza Deoxys. This card saw some competitive play as well. I guess let's start with this card. So, legend card, Deoxys Rayquaza. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Man, especially now with the Zinnia event that happened in the ORAS, these guys are just, they go together, pretty much. So, of course, you need 2 of the legend cards to play this card. It's a 140 HP colorless psychic Pokemon, pretty unique combination, and it's going to be weak to colorless and psychic. So it's Deoxys being weak to psychic and Rayquaza being weak to colorless. So weak to yourself, weak to other common shit like Garchomp, that wasn't good. And there were a lot of solid psychic Pokemon too. I mean, man, Gengar, not just Mewtwo, Level X, and all the other Pokemon. So it wasn't going to be pretty good when it comes to matchups. Gengar was pretty popular. Garchomp, of course, was very popular. It was going to die very easily, and it was going to give 2 prizes. Now, what it does is it has Ozone Climax. You discard all fire energy attached to this dude, and basically you do 150. So you're going to discard 3 cards since you have the 1 lightning energy on. You're going to put 3 fire on, discard 3, do 150. So, good old Rayquaza EX, Rayquaza style. You ditch a lot of energies, usually fire or lightning, and you fucking kill things in 1 hit, basically. 150 during that time was going to knock out mostly anything. The only thing that would survive would be things like maybe big metal Pokemon with a lot of special metal energies on, like Dialga or Steelix Prime, or just level X Pokemon that went over 150 HP, with the only ones being, man, Rhyperior and Salamence. I can't think of anybody else. I guess Tyranitar would survive too, but it was still a pretty powerful attack. You were going to knock anything out with this. Now, the other good thing is Space Virus. This is Deoxys sort of a thing, I guess. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack of Rayquaza Deoxys, you get 1 more prize card. So this is pretty good. This is going to be very, very strong. So if you manage to kill like a bunch of things with this, you're going to win pretty quickly. There weren't a lot of ways to collect more than 1 prize back then. We had Salamence level X, but that didn't see that much play because it died to Garchomp so easily. There was Expert Belt and a bunch of other cards that I've almost forgot, but now I know thanks to the review I made for Great Encounters. Cresselia level X has an attack like that too. But other than that, there weren't really many ways to get prizes. So this card looks pretty good on paper, but unfortunately in the beginning it didn't really see play because it dies to Garchomp. There was no efficient way to power this dude up quickly. I guess there was Typhlosion, but that wasn't fast enough. You needed to set up the fire energies too. I mean, I guess maybe you had Ninetales, so there was that way, but Garchomp was going to kill this guy no matter what, so it was hard. Now, when the SP Pokemon rotated out and we got Emboar from Black and White, when it was the Hard Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White format, this card was actually pretty good, and it actually topped or either won Worlds, I believe. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure there's a World Championship deck with Rayquaza, Deoxys, and Emboar. So, you know, it kind of functioned like the original Raybor, you could say, maybe, since it's Rayquaza. You were going to do a lot of damage. You were going to get double prizes for the knockouts you did. So it was pretty good. Nice little deck before the new EXs and shit came around. So this might be the most successful Legend card. Now the other one is Kyogre Groudon. This didn't do shit, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, but it's actually one of the better cards. It just wasn't right in the formats once again. Features Groudon and Kyogre. Very, very beautiful, very, very cool. Man, this card is really something I have to get. And you got two great attacks. You got Mega Tidal Wave. You discard the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, and it's going to do 30 damage times the number of energy cards you discarded. Now, even if you don't do a lot of damage, you don't ditch energy cards, this is a very powerful deck out attack. You're going to really quickly deck out your opponent. You do this a bunch of times, and they're going to lose a lot of important resources. I mean, 5 cards is just, it's pretty powerful, man. The cost is not the cheapest with 4 energy, but it's not the craziest either. It's double colorless compatible as well, and it is honestly a great attack. I mean, it's going to ditch a lot of cards. If you're lucky, it's going to do a lot of damage as well. I mean, if you discard 3, it's going to do 90 for 4 while having the discarding effect, so it's pretty good. And Massive Eruption is basically the opposite. It's going to discard cards from your deck, but it's going to do crazy fuck damage for every energy you discarded. So if you discard like 1 or 2, basically anything is going to die. It does 100 times the number of energies that are going to be discarded. So with 1, you're doing 100 for 4, no cost. Decent, I guess. I mean, for the big discarding cost, it isn't that good. But you hit 2, anything's dead, basically. Nothing is going to survive that. Not even fucking Wailord. I mean, maybe Wailord, the one that has 200 HP with a damn expert belt, but you're never going to see that. So yeah. Now, the costs, of course, are big, and the other problem is the weaknesses. Being weak to lightning meant that Luxray was going to kill you pretty quickly. It was going to do 120 if it wanted to, and that's not good, man. It means that you're only going to survive like 2 hits at best from Lux Chomp, and it was rough. And the grass weakness wasn't the greatest thing either. Jumpluff was pretty popular as well, and there were other good grass decks, maybe like if you wanted to run Shaman level X, good grass level X beatdown kind of deck. I can't think of other stuff, maybe things like rabies. There were grass Pokemon that were going to take advantage of your weakness. A big dude like this is going to give 2 prizes. The retreat is pretty big. Of course, you get the water and fighting coverage as well. You're going to hit things for weakness. But because you're doing fuckloads of damage anyway, you're not really gonna take advantage of it. And Mega Tidal Wave, you're aiming to deck out your opponent with this, disrupt them. So very good Pokemon, but didn't manage to do enough shit. Next we got the Alpha Lithograph. I don't know what this does. Return any stadium card in play to its player's hand. Okay. Alright. Let's not shuffle your deck at least. Now for the primes. So this set has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primes, okay? And they're all pretty mediocre at best with the exception of Scizor and Raichu. But unfortunately Raichu didn't manage to live up to its best potential thanks to the rotation. I'm going to talk about this dude. But let's start with the most tragic one for me, Espeon. Of course, I talked about this card in my Espeon TCG overview. This is a very beautiful card. Espeon Prime, of course, pretty cool, but it doesn't really do shit. Evolution Memories basically lets you use any attack from any other evolution. So, and you still need the necessary energies to use the attack. So you're gonna have to have fire energy, for example, if you want to use one of Flareon's attacks. It should have a fire energy on, whatever. So the only good thing you get with this Pokemon is psychic coverage. If you're gonna run an evolution deck, or if you're running a deck focusing on one of the evolutions and you kind of want to use this as a psychic coverage guy, it's okay. But it could have been a lot more. I mean, it sucks that its attack is shit and it has to rely on evolution memories to use attacks. Solar Ray is a bitch ass attack. Just gonna do 30 and remove 1 damage counter from each of your Pokemon. That's not gonna cut it, man. Uh, if it was like 2 for 60 at least and then it healed, I mean, maybe it wasn't going to do anything, but at least it's a more respectable attack. 2 for 30 is just pathetic. Doesn't even have free retreat. That's pretty shit if you ask me. For an Espeon special card, it should have had free retreat. And 100 HP is just alright. So, not that good. I wish there was a better way maybe to take advantage of evolution memories, but to be honest, this card was pretty fucked either way. 4th generation probably had the weakest set of evolutions. Not really. I mean, it's just the format wasn't right. They really couldn't do a lot of shit. We did have some good evolutions, but it wasn't right. Man, I think I'm saying this all the time now. But yeah, next up we got Houndoom. I actually pulled this card from my first Undaunted pack. It was pretty cool. Too bad it's not that good. So this guy, 110 HP, only 1 retreat, psychic resistance. His stats are respectable for a stage 1. It's not that bad. Fire Breath, once during your turn before you attack, you can flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now burned. So it has like a slightly weaker uh, Poke Power than the Blaziken from Platinum with Fire Breath. They basically do the same thing, only this you have to flip a coin. I guess maybe it's a good trade-off, a fair trade-off, since Blaziken from Platinum is a stage 2 Pokemon. This is a stage 1, but this is a prime, so I mean, if it did this attack if it did the power without a coin flip, it would have been pretty good. It would pretty much replace uh, Blaziken in my Blaziken Blaze Chop deck, maybe. I mean, yeah, probably, because it's a stage 1. It needs Darkness Energy to work, but it would have been pretty good since it's stage 1. And speaking of the attack, Dark Clamp basically does 3 for 70, the defending Pokemon can retreat. Pretty average for 3 energy, not even double colorless compatible. I mean, you can use special darks and it's going to be stronger, but it's not really enough. If it did 2 for 70 or 2 for 60 and had this effect, maybe, or if it did more damage for 3, or if it was double colorless compatible, it's just so many ways this attack could have been a little better, but it's not. It's just too slow, man. Too bad. It looks cool as well. You got the moon here as well. Damn. Remembered Soul Eater now for some reason. I guess they have the moon thing going. Next we got Raichu. Good old Raichu. So this is actually a Pokemon that wasn't good either, but only because a card that was going to make it good rotated out, and that is the Secret Wonders Electivire. So this Raichu, what it does with voltage increase as often as like during your turn, you may move a lightning energy attached to one of your Pokemon to Raichu. So kind of acts like Swampert and some of the other Pokemon that moved energy around, but had the limitation you couldn't move them anywhere. You couldn't move them maybe from, no, I guess that you can move it from the bench or the active position, but it has to be the Raichu. So what you could have done if we had Secret Wonders Electivire, that guy basically acted like a Dynamotor guy. You grabbed the lightning energy from the Disco Ball, but you had to attach it to himself, so you couldn't really power up any other Pokemon like maybe Typhlosion. But what you could have done with this, of course, is grab the energies with Electivire, then put them onto Raichu with the Poke Power, and since it's as often as you like, they weren't going to be able to power spray it or some shit. So it wasn't that bad. And Mega Thunderbolt, you were going to be able to take advantage of this pretty solid attack. It's going to do 120. You discard all lightning energies, but if you were going to have Electivire support, you would have been pretty good with the energies. It wasn't going to be a problem. And 120 was going to get a lot of significant knockouts on a lot of relevant stuff. The lightning type was going to be pretty good too, hitting things for weakness. I mean, I guess you were going to knock out a lot of things anyway in one hit, but Gyarados wasn't going to die, so this helps. Only one retreat, metal resistance. 100 HP is okay. It wasn't a bad Pokemon, it's just it didn't have a partner by the time it was released. Electivire was going to be perfect. Now, if you're going to play these past formats and you want to, I guess, make all the sets be available from 4th generation, hey, that's something. This might be a pretty good deck, pretty good Pokemon. The cards go together anyway, so why not? So good. Uh, I mean, Raichu from Hard Gold Soul Silver could do 100 only for 2, and that was quicker, and the 20 extra for the 1 extra energy cost maybe wasn't worth it. Of course, in this case, you're going to get more significant knockouts, and if you had Electivire support, it was going to be better. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that. The other one has Free Retreat as well. Alright, next we got Scizor. This was the only really good one that managed to do some shit. This is a metal Pokemon, so the first thing that will come to mind to people would be you put the special metal energies on, make it tankier, and it would work, since its Pokebody red armor is going to prevent all damage done to Scizor by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have any special energy. So, essentially like the damn Xurkitree we've got right now, Xurkitree GX, I'm pretty sure that's what it does, and Aegislash EX, another metal Pokemon that had this. Special special energies, not special metal energies, are always played, so you're gonna be able to maybe tank a little bit and get some free turns of your opponent not attacking. I mean, Luxchomp used a lot of special energies. Fucking many decks use special energies, or either special dark with Sableye. You had all the blend energies, man. The double colorless energies, call energies, of course, man. Everybody was running those. So you were going to block a lot of shit. And the attack is pretty good too. Metal Scissors, it's going to do 70 for 2. That's very good. And it gets 20 more for each other metal energy that's going to be on. So I guess the more you attach, it's not going to get much better. For example, if you have 3, it's going to do 90 for 3. That's not that super great. But 2 for 70 is very good. It's fast, it's good. And since this guy was a tank, you could afford to maybe put a lot of energies on and do slow but good damage. Pretty good Pokemon. Okay, next we go to Super Shit. From good to Super Shit. This is Slowken Prime. This guy doesn't have anything really special about him. The HP isn't special, the retreat isn't good. Super Cyborg is 60 for 3. That's not special at all. And opponent's choice is kind of a shit Pokepower too. This is basically you reveal the 2 top cards of your deck and your opponent chooses one and you grab that. So basically it's like a what the fuck is it called? Yeah, Pokedex every turn that your opponent chooses the card. So that is absolute shit. I mean, you might as well just use Dodrio and you draw a card. There was a Dodrio that basically let you just draw a card every turn. Might as well use that. You're gonna get one card anyway, and your opponent won't be able to see it at least. So yeah, pretty shit. Nothing else to say. Next we got Umbreon. I was gonna say Umbreon GX. No, this is Umbreon Prime. So this Pokemon, once again, a few things here and there could have made it be solid at least. 100 HP, 1 retreat. Its stats aren't that terrible, I guess. It's got the psychic resistance too. With a cloud-covered moon, once during your turn you can flip a coin, and if heads, you put this dude in all cards attached to it to your hand. So it acts like a scoop up on its own, super scoop up. That's not bad, but it's not the greatest thing either. You have to flip a coin, and I mean, it's not bad. It's just it doesn't really offer anything besides that. The attack Evil Blast isn't that amazing, So you think, okay, I'm gonna use this for the attack, and maybe I can use the power too. Evil Blast is gonna do 50 damage, plus 10 more damage for each Pokemon in play you have that evolves from Eevee. So yeah, on the bench. No, actually, wait. Yeah, so it's gonna do 60 on its own, and I guess if you have 5 more bloody evolutions, which you won't, since you at best are gonna have 4, it's gonna do what? Like 90 for 3? I mean, I guess you can put special darks too, but it's a weak attack. My maths might be wrong, but uh, it's not gonna be that great of an attack. You need so many evolutions out. If it was times 20, then yeah, that would have been right, in my opinion. It should have been that. I mean, it's a prime Pokemon. It doesn't have, it's not that spectacular. It should have done like times 20. Or make it the base damage, make it 70 or some shit. That would have helped too. So not the absolute worst. It's definitely better than, let's say, Slowking. And I don't know, I mean, Espeon, I guess, has the coverage use. Houndoom is not that useless, I guess. Raichu isn't that useless either. The only super shit terrible one is Slowking. The other ones are just mediocre, unfortunately. So yeah. So let's talk about the trainers since I'm here. You got the Burn Tower from Gold and Silver, of course. So once during your turn, each player can flip a coin. If heads, you can grab a free energy and put it into your hand. So in Legacy, I use this stadium. It can be kind of handy to recycle energies for Raybor and shit. But, I mean, other than that, it's just not that amazing. You got Defender. I can't believe they even printed this card again in that set. So, gonna give 20 to your... If when the opponent attacks, it's gonna do 20 less. I was gonna give 20 to defense now. Energy Exchanger. So basically, this is like a BB search or Pokemon communication for energies. You're gonna choose an energy card, put it into the shuffle into the deck to grab any energy. You can grab a DC this way, and it was interesting, but the cost is kind of, it's basically a -1 Yu-Gi-Oh terms, yeah. But you could grab DC this way. You could grab any special energy, but you have to shuffle an energy back. Maybe if it was shuffle any card, then yeah, this would have been flexible. Then would have been worth it. Decent card, I guess. Decent card. We got Flower Shop Lady. You search your discard pile for 3 Pokemon and 3 basic energy cards. You shuffle all of them. So this is like the, I guess you could say, Palmer's Contribution, or Brock from nowadays. We have Supporter, Super Rod / Night Maintenance card. You're gonna shuffle more shit in, but it takes up your supporter for the turn. Now the problem with this card is that it's too exact. It needs to be 3 Pokemon and 3 basic energies. It doesn't give you any other flexibility. So I think it's not as good as Palmer's Contribution maybe, and other cards. I guess when we lost those cards, it was the only way for mass recovery. Next we got Legend Box. So this was one of the ways you could try to make Legend decks work. You look at the top 10 cards of your deck, and if you reveal both halves, you can grab them and attach all the energy cards. They could have made it more flexible, but I guess if you get the effect off, it can be kind of broken this way. You're gonna instantly play the Legend Pokemon and grab energies. So not bad, but you're gonna have to do some statistics with your decks to figure out if it's gonna be consistent and shit. Ruins of Alph. Each Pokemon in play has no resistance. Okay. Cool little art. I wish it was better. I wish it had a better effect. Like, each Pokemon in play has no weakness. That would have been better, if you ask me. Sage's Training. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You choose 2 cards you find there. You put them into your hand, and you discard the other cards. So it's what I said it was. You grab 2 cards you want, and then the others are gonna get discarded. So it's gonna grab you any 2 cards for free, but you're gonna lose a lot of cards too. So yeah, maybe not for every deck. During that time, we had better ways to grab cards anyway. And then we got Team Rocket's Trickery. You draw 2 cards, and then your opponent discards a card from his or her hand. So this was like the Mars supporter from Secret Wonders. It's like the Mars supporter we got nowadays from Ultra Prism. Not that great. It's got the Team Rocket guys though from Johto. Okay, so these are the trainers. Now, when it comes to Pokemon, yeah, there's the Sneasel. It has the, oh man, taking forever. The art from the original Sneasel from Neo Genesis. They gave it a weakness, but it still doesn't have a retreat cost. And the attack beat up is still gonna fuck you up. Damn. Man, this Pokemon was so broken in Neo Genesis that even this, like, remake version, it might even do a lot of damage. Okay, so when it comes to the other stuff, there's not really much. There's this Espeon here, I think. Yeah, I covered it in Call of Legends too. Not that good. You got some other Pokemon like Smeargle here. This was one of the better cards. With Portrait, once during your turn, if this guy was your active Pokemon, you could look at your opponent's hand and use the supporter you find there. Now, you're forced to use it if you find one, so later on, when we got Juniper from Black and White, if you weren't careful, you were going to be forced to ditch your whole hand and use that. But this card definitely saw play in the Dark Explorers formats. People used it since we had, I'm pretty sure we got Floatstone by that time. Yeah, you could definitely use this when one of your dudes got knocked out maybe, and you promote this guy. Okay, next we got the other Umbreon here. We also get the regular evolutions in this set. They got reprinted in Call of Legends. They look very beautiful, but they weren't that great. This might be one of the best ones though. With Moonlight Fang, it's going to do 30 for 1, so it's good damage for 1 energy, not bad. And you're going to block damage to this Pokemon by Pokemon that have any Poke Powers or Poke Bodies. So it covers good ground. I mean, certain Pokemon like Jumpluff aren't going to care, and there must be, yeah, there should be many Pokemon that are not going to care. But a lot of Pokemon did have either a body or a Poke Power that were popular, so it could block some Pokemon too. You know, you put an Expert Belt on and Special Dark Energy, it's going to do some pretty solid damage, 60 for 1. Wasn't that bad. It looks pretty good as a holo card too. Next we got this Dodria. I think what it does is, yeah, as long as this guy's on your bench, you get 2 less retreat on your active Pokemon. Not bad, not bad. You got the Honchkos, weren't really that good. You got Metagross. I wish this guy was good, but because I love Metagross, but it wasn't good. We got a Metagross in this set and in, I think it was Unleashed. Yeah, it was Unleashed. Does Strength, 3 for 70. It should have been, man, maybe like, make it 2 for 70 at least, not 3. Or make it 3 for 100 if it's gonna be 3, man. But anyway, and Quad Smash. This is actually the same attack from the Shiny Metagross TX from the Premium Collection box that we got, that they didn't care enough to give a Spirit Link or make it good anyway. You flip 4 coins, it's going to do 50 damage times the number of hits. So on average, you might do 100 for 4, but that's not that amazing. Right. Got Skarmory. This was a solid card. You use this with Scizor. Well, for any metal Pokemon, you could use this. It's going to search your deck for metal energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. And you can grab special metals with this effect as well. So that was the good part of this card. Vileplume. Okay, big card. This was one of the big cards. So yeah, when you really think about it, Undaunted wasn't really that weak of a set. It's just people thought it was weak, like Arceus. I mean, maybe it's still weaker than the other Hard Gold, Soul Silver sets, but if you think about the significant cards, I mean, Vileplume, this card was pretty significant. when it was first released, and even in the black and white formats, all the way to maybe even Dark Explorers. Basically, as long as this card is out, either active or on the bench, each player can't play any trainer cards. That's basically the effect. So it made the Cursegar deck evolve into basically Vilegar. You could now use favor the good Gengar from Stormfront instead of the one in Arceus to kind of switch, attack and switch into the Spiritomb. You'd basically get this guy out, and you could do a lot of damage with Gengar that way from Stormfront. It was going to lock trainer cards, so SP Pokemon, the SP decks were going to be really hurt, and it was one of the most efficient ways to beat them, one of the only ways really. The only way to beat a deck like that was either to outpace it, maybe with things like Kindra or the fast attackers, or lock it out basically. Maybe tank too, with decks like Torterra, Steelix, strategies of that nature. This was definitely a great Pokemon though, definitely. Next we got this Weavile too, Disruption guy, Claw Snag. Basically when you evolve this dude, you look at your opponent's hand, you choose a card and you discard it. Now that's actually pretty nasty, man, because discarding a card was going to be nasty enough, but you also get to look at your opponent's hand and choose. So yeah, this definitely saw play in Sableye. Fucked up. Next we got Flareon. I love this art, love this Pokemon. One of the evolutions, not really that great. Does Flame Tail, 1 for 30, not bad. And Flamethrower, just 3 for 90. It's not terrible, man. It's too plain. Doesn't have anything special. The art definitely is fantastic, though. I love that this, Flareon is kind of surprised and awe, wondering, kind of curious, looking at the Firestone. I was like, oh, it's cute stuff. I love stuff like this. I mean, who doesn't love the evolutions? I mean, I guess there's some people. Next we got Jolteon, looking pretty fly as well. This one's running, chasing the stone, some shit. It's got agility, not that good, and Mac Bolt, not that good either. At least it has free retreat. And then Vaporeon must be around here somewhere. Where the fuck are you? Where are you, Vaporeon? I mean, I guess we found Leafeon. So Leafeon, Miasma Wind. It's going to do 50 times the amount of special energy attached to defending Pokemon. So if your opponent had 1 special energy on, this was going to be solid, 1 for 50. But you could always not do shit. I mean, if they had 2, you're going to do 100. That's broken. You could always use the second attack, though. Soothing Scent, 1 for 30. That's not that bad either. And Instant Sleep. It's got a handy water resistance. Only 1 retreat. Not that bad. You could use a lot of these grass or fire evolutions. Like, we had a bunch of Leafeons and a bunch of Flareons through the era. Maybe you can use them with the defensive, or better yet, the offensive Cherrim from Stormfront. And you could actually boost your damage that way. It wasn't bad, it's not going to be the greatest thing. And where is Vaporeon, damn it? There you are. Yeah, its art is kind of different too. It kind of doesn't look like it from afar. Maybe that is Vaporeon. So this Pokemon has Spiral Drain. It's going to do 20 for 1 and you heal 20. I wish it was you healed as much as you dealt. Not that it was going to be that amazing anyway. And Dual Splash, it's going to do 60 for 2 in spread. Basically, you choose 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. You're going to do 30 to each of them. So, yeah. I wish it was 40. It would have been better this way. Would have been better, man. And I guess what else do we got? Let me see here. There's Aaron here. I'm pretty sure I saw Aaron. So yeah, there's no Agron here too. No, Agron wasn't Triumphant, but they put Aaron in here as well. I guess it must have some of the promo stuff and shit. Yeah. So other than that, I can't really think of anything else to cover. Anything that's pretty good. There's Pokemon here that have random effects, like I think maybe this Unknown has something. Yeah, once during your turn when you put unknown from your hand to your bench. You search your deck for a darkness energy card and you put it into your hand. So this is basically like a energy search for dark on a poker power. Not good, man. I don't know why they gave it that power. Guess there's this Combi. Kinda saw hype. I know. So this little bee Pokemon, if you had a damaged Vespiquen on your bench with any damage counters on, if it was damaged, yeah, this was going to do 80 damage for 1 and the defending Pokemon is poisoned. So pretty great damage, but it was difficult to use. The condition was pretty hard. You had to had a damaged Vespiquen. I mean, I guess maybe if you use the Vespiquen deck and you use a Memory Berry and you kind of use this maybe as a last-ditch attacker, backup, whatever, maybe. It's a strong attack, just thought I'd mention it. Something you don't expect to see on this Pokemon here, Combi. Enraged Assault. I guess it's pissed that the Queen got fucked or whatever. Okay, so next we got Eevee. I guess I'm going to talk about this. What does it do? It doesn't do anything. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it on your bench. So weaker Eevee than the Majestic Dawn 1. I mean, there's nothing really else. Yeah, nothing really else. I guess we're gonna make this a wrap. I tried to make this longer since this is the last sets from past formats, but there's nothing else. Should be long enough. I mean, I guess there's this Gliscor too. I think it does some shit before it does damage. Defending Pokemon is paralyzed. Okay, so the first time you're going to use this on a fresh Pokemon, it's going to get paralyzed. 1 for 30. And Poison Jab, 3 for 50, and Poison. There were better cards that you were going to use for maybe Gliscor level X deck. Maybe you can use the first attack, but it's not going to be as consistent since it needs to not have damage to paralyze the opponent. Alright. And that's basically it. Let's look at you as well since you're the first card. Hustle Step. You remove 1 damage counter from each of your Pokemon. This is actually not bad. Heals everybody. So it kind of acts like Nidoqueen, but I think it's weaker. Nidoqueen healed everyone in between turns, I think. Maybe. Interesting though, I didn't know this Pokemon had this attack. So yeah, there's a lot of cards in here that I might not even know the effects. Okay, you're not doing shit. But hope you guys enjoyed not only this set review, but the series in general for all the people that watched them. This is something that I thought of doing, thought was pretty cool. I don't think anybody else did this, doing set reviews on older sets like the ones in Diamond and Pearl. I'm right at home with those sets, so I felt really comfortable talking about them, reminiscing, and looking at a lot of cards. I actually learned some things or remembered some things. Like I said, I didn't know that Cresselia had an attack that involved getting more prizes. So it was pretty fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. I'm going to have to think of something else to do now because I don't only want to upload games and decks and stuff in the TCG that involves games and such. I want to upload things like these set reviews and the TCG overviews and maybe top 10s, but those take a lot of time. This takes a lot of time too, but not in the sense of editing and shit. It's just the time I need to record because it's a long video. But anyways, guys, SaberWolf94, what's up?